So today we're going to be doing lesson 3, which is multiplying and dividing by powers of 10. We are on page 356. So go ahead and get your book out and get your notebook out, and let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to be learning about the powers of 10, and we've briefly talked about it before, but we're going to kind of review it. So when you multiply, it says here, when you multiply a number by 10 to the nth power, or a power of 10, you are using 10 as a factor n times. In 10 to the n, it's the n is called the exponent. So let's go ahead and write some terms down. So first we have power of 10. Okay, and so that's a power with a base of 10. Okay, so for example, that's going to be 10 to the nth power. Okay, and we've briefly talked about the exponents before and how they look. Okay, and so then exponent, just to remind you, again, these are, we've gone over it before, but these are just reminders. So the exponent is the number in a power that tells the number of times the base Sorry, my pen's running out. The base is used as a factor. Okay, and then that's going to be the n part. So my pen's running out here. So if I were to do a 10 here, and then an n, 10 to the nth power. This is my base. And this is my exponent. Okay? All right. So I'm going to write some powers of 10 just for reference that you're going to write down, and make sure that you don't have to memorize them, but you're going to use them often enough to where you are going to recognize them very easily. Okay, so I'm going to erase this, the top. Now I'll erase this too. Okay, so we have 10 to the first power, 10 to the second power, 10 to the third power, and we'll do 10 to the fourth power. Okay, and then you can keep going. Okay, so this is equal to 10. You just write 10 one time. So 10 times 1 is 10. This you write 10 two times, okay, which is 100. This one you write 10 three times. 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1,000. This one you write 10 four times. 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, which is 10,000. Hopefully you can see my pen. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, sorry. Okay? So, these are some powers of 10 that you should memorize or know or get to know pretty easily, okay? I'm going to write 2 stars for you to remember. I'm going to put them on, well, they probably won't fit on the side, but I'm going to write them. Oh, I am going to have you underline these because here this is 1, so there's 1, 0, 1, 0. 2, 2 zeros, 2 zeros. 3, 3 zeros, 3 zeros. 4, 4 zeros, underline all the zeros. Okay? All right. So the first star, first important thing to remember, multiplying by 10 okay, moves the decimal point just want to make sure I'm recording, one place to the right. Okay, if you multiply by 100, there's 2 zeros there, so it's going to move that decimal place 2 times to the right. Multiplying by 1,000, there's three zeros, so you're going to move it, the decimal place 3 times to the right. Okay, so depending on the number of zeros, that's the number of times you're going to be moving your decimal place to the right. Okay, so then the opposite of that would be dividing. Okay, so dividing by 10 moves the decimal point one place to the left. Okay, so those are going to come in handy. You need to remember those. That's why they're stars. So let's go ahead and do an example. Okay, we'll do an example underneath. Okay, example number 1. We have 6.5. Let's do divided by 10 to the first power. Okay, well, the first thing I need to do is figure out what is 10 to the first power. Okay, so I need to do this part first. What is 10 to the first power? So 6.5 divided by 10 to the first power is just 10. Okay, then it says that I am dividing by 10 moves the decimal point 1 place to the left. So that means that I only have 1 0, so I'm going to move it to the left 1 place. Okay, so then my decimal point is going to be there. So I have 0.65 is going to be my answer. Okay, I'm going to do another example over here. So example 2, 6.5 divided by 10 to the second power. Okay, so again, the first thing that I need to do is figure out what is 10 to the second power. Okay, according to my chart, that's 10 times 10, which is 100. So we got 6.5 divided by 100. Okay, how many zeros do I have? I have 2 zeros this time. So I'm going to move my decimal place two spots. 1, 2. And remember, the other day, last week, we learned that if there was a blank spot there, what goes there? A 0. Okay, so I'm going to put an imaginary 0 there. So then my answer is going to be 0.065. Okay, I'm going to do one more example over here. Okay, now let's do example 3. Okay, which is 6.5 divided by 10 to the third power. Fourth power. Let's skip it and do fourth power. To the fourth power. Okay, so the first thing is we need to figure out what is 10 to the fourth power. Fourth power means that there's 4 zeros. So according to our chart, it's 1 with 4 zeros, which is 10,000. Okay, then I need to see, okay, there are 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to move my decimal point 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what do I put there? My imaginary 0. 0, 0, 0. So my answer is going to be 0.0006 and 5. Okay, so this is going to be the same thing when you're multiplying. So instead of going this way to the left, when you multiply, you're going to go that way to the right. Okay, you're just moving the decimal point in the other direction when you're multiplying. All right, so make sure you're following the steps. Make sure you're remembering these. Multiplying goes, decimal point goes to the right. Dividing means decimal point goes to the left. And then remember your powers of 10, okay? 10 to the 1, first power is 10. 10 to the second power, 100. 10 to the third power, 1,000. 10 to the fourth power, 10,000. 10 to the fifth power, 100,000. 10 to the sixth power, 1 million, okay? So those will come with time to memorize them. All right, I think that's it. Go ahead and do the homework. Make sure, go ahead and skip the last one. So this chapter, for at least right now, unless I let you know differently, we're just going to go ahead and skip that last word problem, just, to make things a little bit easier. So don't worry about doing that last word problem. All right, so that's it. All right, thanks, guys.